For some people, this Saturday is just another Saturday. But if you're a wrestling fan, it's a chance to go back in time. It's a chance to relive your childhood and to celebrate the greatest era in professional wrestling, the 1980s, because this weekend is the big event. It's it's the biggest event. It's 80s Con 4 in Morristown, New Jersey at the Menon Arena. And joining me tonight is the promoter for ISPW Wrestling, the owner of the Wrestling Collector Store, and the mastermind behind 80s Con. My best friend, Tommy Fierro. Tommy, welcome to the show, buddy.
My man, how are you, sir? It only took a year for you to finally ask me to be on your show. And after all those interviews I got you, jeez.
Oh man.
What's
So let me
going
ask
on?
let me ask you this. You're about 2 days away from the biggest convention of all time. How are you feeling?
Oh man, I got all kinds of emotions going through me, man. It's literally the orders have been spitting in all day long. It's very, very, very overwhelming. I think for this convention, I've gotten more feedback than any convention I've ever ran in my life, honestly. Literally, people from all around the world are coming. 42 states and 8 countries have already purchased tickets for 80s Wrestling Con this Saturday at the Menon Sports Arena in Morristown, New Jersey. And yeah, man, I'm amped up. As you know, last year was my biggest convention to date, I thought, and I was obviously on the highest of highs. And 6 days later, my dad passed away. So, like, you go from one extreme to the next. Like, and before my convention last year, I was in Disney for a week. You were there as well. So, like, you're having like you on your first family Disney vacation, then you have the biggest convention of your life, and then 6 days later, your dad dies. So, like, for me, like, it was a big, like, holy moly, like, you went from one extreme to the next in a matter of 6 days. So, like, this year, I'm motivated again. I'm focused again. I'm determined, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday. I'm dedicated to my father, and yeah, man, I'm amped up. I'm ready.
Awesome. Everyone listening and watching should know that you and I are like brothers, and
Oh
you know
yeah,
your
man.
dad. Your dad's so proud of you right now. I'm so proud of you. Everyone's so proud of you, man. This is it's a huge undertaking. Real quick, what is preparation for an event like Saturday? Like, what is it? It's a whole year process, no?
Man. So yeah, it's not as easy as just booking a wrestler and then putting them on Facebook or on a flyer or a poster and then posting it and then having a convention. And I mean, it's so many little things that go into it. So say, like, for example, for Saturday, we probably have about 40 guys in total are going to be there. So that's 40 airfares. That's 40 hotels. That's finding 40 people to pick these 40 wrestlers up at the airport, bring them to the hotel, and then finding people to pick them up at the hotel the next morning and bring them to the venue, and then take them from the venue back to either the hotel again or back to the airport. And you times that times 40, and that right there is enough to make you want to take your head and bounce it up against the wall about 1,000 times. So that's just one thing. I mean, there's so many other things that go into it. About, this week alone, I've been getting, no joke, about 50 emails a day, people just asking randomly different questions that, and they have a right to ask questions because they're curious going to the event. So, like, you have to monitor that throughout the day. And then with social media, the same thing. Like, they're sending messages through the Instagram, through the Facebook, through the Twitter. And I remember I run ISPW too, and we're running this month alone 6 shows. And then I have the store as well. So I mean, it's like literally impossible. So when you get hot at me that I don't text you back for 45 minutes, the reason why, Michael, is because I am in the fucking weeds.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Don't. This is a business program, not personal. Let's talk about the lineup because I was there for 80s Con 1, 80s Con 2, 80s Con 3, and I'm going to be right by your side for 80s Con 4. This has got to be the biggest lineup I've ever heard for a wrestling convention. Right on top, the headliner, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. This December, will be 30 years since I promoted my first convention back in December of 1993. And over the past 30 years, I've pretty much worked with every big name 80s wrestler in some way, shape, or form. One of the, escaping a few, one of the few that I never have and I always wanted to was Bret Hart. So yeah, I'm really excited to have him. And let me tell you something, man, his name goes a really, really, really long way when someone that knows how to promotes his name that way. So yeah, I'm really excited, man. He he's got a lot of feedback. I think that I think he's going to draw a really, really big crowd on Saturday.
I agree. What about you? Have former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Dory Funk Jr. making a rare New Jersey appearance.
Yeah, man, I'm really, really, really excited about that one as well. Like you just said, extremely rare. He doesn't really do much stuff like this, and I'm very, very blessed and very fortunate to have him along with Marty, his wife, come up to New Jersey this weekend. I know for certain that she's doing it. They're doing it because they like me a lot. So I'm really thankful that and very happy that they're going to be up here to celebrate the greatest time period in the history of professional wrestling, 80s wrestling, this weekend in Morristown, New Jersey.
In the 1980s, it was such a hotbed for tag team wrestling. And you want to talk about, if you're a fan of 80s wrestling tag team, you got to come to the Menin Arena. We have Demolition. We have the Powers of Pain.
Hold on. What's this we stuff?
Brother, it's yours is mine. Mine is yours. Come on.
Always.
Demolition, Powers of Pain, the Killer Bees, the Beverly Brothers, and the original Midnight Express of Randy Rose and Loverboy Dennis Condrey. I just those 5 teams alone is a reason for me to leave my house and come to your convention.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for saying that. We're calling it 80s Tag Team Mayhem. So 5 original tag teams from the 80s will reunite. The really cool part is that later on at the end of the convention, we're doing a live ISPW wrestling show, and the Powers of Pain are going to actually reunite and team up on the show. So you can actually see the Powers of Pain wrestle at 80s Wrestling Con this Saturday as well. And we're actually billing the match the 80s versus the 90s versus the now. It's going to be the Powers of Pain against the Headbangers against the now, challenging both of them for the ISPW tag team titles. So that's going to be really cool.
We'll definitely get to that show in a little bit. That's a huge show he's got right after the convention. So who else do we have? We have famous, probably the 2 besides Fabulous Moolah, the 2 biggest women of the 1980s. You have like Lonnie Kai and you have Wendy Richter. A matchup from WrestleMania 1. You can get a photo op with both of them at 80s Con.
Yeah, man. After running, I run 80s wrestling conventions, so you can only do so much and bring in so many different talent because unfortunately a lot of them are gone already. So I've had Wendy before, and I had Demolition before, and I had Powers of Pain before, and so has other convention promoters in the area. But you offer a unique opportunity having Demolition and face paint and Powers of Pain and face paint, and then the fan is in between them taking a picture. I mean, that's a part of wrestling history from your childhood right there. That's a rare opportunity. Same thing with Nikita Koloff and Magnum TA. These are NWA wrestlers, so they were more famous and popular down south, but a lot of people up here know them and they're not up this way very often. So it's a cool opportunity to get a photo op with Nikita and Magnum, and then to be able to take a picture with an original match from WrestleMania 1 with Wendy Richter and Lolani Kai with you in the middle. It's unique opportunities like that is what I try to do to separate myself from various other, conventions around the area. And mine is not a convention. You just don't come there and you get autographs and take pictures. And it's an experience. There's a ton of different activities throughout the day. We're doing Pro Wrestling Family Feud. We're doing Pro Wrestling Jeopardy. We're doing Bill Apter's Pro Wrestling Karaoke Contest. We're doing a lot of fun stuff throughout the day. We're having a couple live matches during the day, and then we're having a big show at the end of the convention. We're doing the Kids of 80s Wrestling Q&A. So we have a lot of different stuff planned. And And then, and believe it or not, everyone, to all you wrestling then and now viewers and listeners out there, because you've been around for a little while now, and that know that Mike Moraldo here is Ace Darling, former independent wrestling superstar. He's actually going to be the special guest referee for the main event for the ISPW's Rock and Wrestling show this Saturday. So I twisted his arm and got him back in the mix.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to the show. I promise. Let's stick with the convention because there's so many more. Like, if that's not enough, like, okay, there can't be anyone else coming to your convention. You have Head Shrinker Semu, Wildfire Tommy Rich, Manny Fernandez, Mr. Hughes, Skinner, Tony Atlas, Virgil, Paul Roma. I mean, the list goes. Dr. D, David Schultz. I know I'm forgetting. Papa Shango. I'm sure I'm forgetting people. The list just goes on. Typhoon. The list goes on and on and on. And I'm so glad, Tommy, you said it's not just a convention, it's an experience. Because listen, you're my best friend. I'd do anything for you. And even if your convention stunk, I would promote it. But
so what you're telling me is even if my convention stunk, you would still tell me I'm the greatest promoter in the world, right?
But with everything that I am, bro, I just want everyone to know this, that if anyone goes to your events, they're not going to be disappointed. You have so much respect for your paying customer and always go out of your way above and beyond to put on a great show. And if you're thinking about coming this Saturday, don't think anymore. Come. It's going to be an unbelievable experience. Now, real quick, you said you're the kids of the 80s. Go over that real quick.
Yeah, so there's going to be some kids from the 80s going to be there that, you can talk to them and ask them questions and see what it's like for them growing up as the child of their famous father, pro wrestler that we grew up idolizing. We're still last secondly doing the schedule because there's a couple mix-ups in there, but definitely confirmed to be there is going to be Nikolai Volkov's son, Earthquake's son. And we just found out that Roddy Piper's daughter, Teal, is going to be there. She's a substitute in, and we're finalizing the rest of the lineup. But that's going to be taking place at the end of 80s Wrestling Con. So the schedule is posted, and I believe we're going to send out another press release tomorrow. But the doors open right at 11 o'clock, and the activities start right at noon. So 12 o'clock, I believe, is the first ISPW match. Then, throughout the afternoon, every half hour, there's something going on. So it's going to be a really fun experience. And because not everyone that goes to these events, they might not be autograph collectors, or they don't care about getting their picture. They just want to be, they might want to just walk around and buy merchandise, stuff like that. So you have to doing the live events during the day. It gives everyone something to do, in my opinion,
Absolutely. Let's talk about the show at night. ISPW, the biggest show of the year. Go down the list of the huge names you have coming in just for your wrestling show. So not only do you have all this talent coming in for the convention, run down your lineup for the show, Tommy, because it's going to be a huge, huge show.
Yeah, man. So like I just mentioned earlier, we're doing the 80s versus the 90s versus the now. That Powers of Pain against the Headbangers against the now. It's going to be Val Venus going one-on-one with the superstar Danny Morrison.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're never going to see the Headbangers versus the Powers of Pain ever again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Sorry, but it's just
first time ever, actually.
And I'm willing to bet last time ever. So you're not going to want to miss that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Fandango will a former guest of the show right here. He will go one-on-one with Eugene. We're also going to have Snitsky, who's in the best shape of his life, looks absolutely fantastic, managed by the winner, Andy Weinberg, going one-on-one with Alpha Jr. We also have, for the ISW heavyweight title, Bull James with Maven against Rick Recon with Dave LaGreca. Maven and LaGreca must be handcuffed to each other for this match. Ace, like I mentioned, is the special guest referee, and then the outside the ring enforcer to make sure everything goes good between LaGreca and Maven and there's no horseplay is New York Giants Super Bowl champion Jay Alfred. So that's a big match with a lot of moving pieces in that. We're going to have the Phoenix GKM, the new ISPW Tri-State champion, absolutely tearing it up as of late. He will be defending the title against the notorious 187 Homicide. So that's going to be a really, 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 really fun match. I'm looking forward to that. Talking about fun matches, your former tag team partner, the man that's tearing it up all over the place at 49 years old, Crowbar. We'll go one-on-one, safe but effective. We'll go one-on-one with Harry Smith, the British Bulldog Jr. Guarantee that's going to be an absolute barn burner. And then we have a fatal five-way for the ISPW women's title. Tina San Antonio defends against Vicious Vicky, the Gift of Gab, Gabby Ortiz, Adina Steele in the Notorious Mimi. And then Justin Carino has an open challenge to any WWE Hall of Famer that is at 80s Wrestling Con to take him on. Someone has answered the challenge, and we will find out this Saturday who it is. Selvana Joyce in the Moment, the Last Match musical band. I know you're a big fan of theirs, Mike. They're going to be performing live this Saturday.
You better give me the introduction when she gets there, buddy.
Yeah, this is my my associate, Michael Moraldo.
Your colleague.
My colleague. Yeah, and that and a whole bunch more, man. Like what I try to do was, there's, like I said, there's people from all over the United States and the world coming to this. So the average person coming from Texas or Canada, they might not be familiar with Rick Recon or GKM. So if you bring in, you're using names that the outside fans coming are familiar with, the hopes where they would stay, and then that's when they get hooked on. They're buying the ticket to see Val Venus and Fandango and Eugene and Snitsky, but once they're there, we hook them on Rick Recon, GKM, and the Now. So that's the plan, and hopefully it works. And yeah, man, it's a stacked show.
Wow. It's going to be a huge day. You must have a really good friend that stands by your side throughout the entire event. You must have someone like that. I can only imagine.
Absolutely. My wife, Allison.
Oh, you dirty dog. Bro, for me, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to go there and watch what you've accomplished.
Thanks, man.
This stuff is it's stuff that I don't know, Tommy. It's like huge production. It's amazing. It's a once in a lifetime experience. If you want to go, don't wait. Where can people still get tickets, Tommy?
So you can, depending on when this gets posted, we're going to probably do cutoff on, originally we're going to do cutoff at 12 noon tomorrow. However, I think I'm going to extend it till either 4 or 6 o'clock. I'll decide in the morning and I'll post it. But you can head over to 80swrestlingcon.com now. Again, that's 80swrestlingcon.com. And you can get tickets for this Saturday's 80s Wrestling Con. You can get your autograph and photo op tickets there, and then our huge ISPW show immediately following 80s Wrestling Con with a super stacked lineup that I'm really looking forward to. Together, both of those in one day, and then the next day is is my daughter's communion. So talk about going from one extreme to the next. But
what time do I have to wake up in the morning to get there? What time is the church?
Well, considering that you're the godfather, you should probably know that information, young man.
Well, it's like 9 a.m. Am I right?
This time's a special 6:45 a.m. edition. So
Killing me.
But yeah, man, anyone out there, definitely, man, if you want to experience something different and never been to one of my events before or ISPW, you can kill two birds with one stone. We're having one jam-packed day filled with tons of excitement and entertainment and surprises, and you never know, Mr. Moraldo, what I have up my sleeve for Saturday.
Can't wait. I can't wait. It's like Christmas, New Year's, my birthday, Easter, all rolled into one, man. It's like It really is. It's the greatest day of the year if you're a wrestling fan. Nobody leaves disappointed. And I have one question before we go, Tommy. Now, this is Wednesday night. I'm going to post this Thursday. So
Okay.
2 days before 80s Con. So people get your tickets, contact Tommy. Plug all your social medias too.
Yeah, so just we're if you're looking up for the convention, we're anywhere on social media, 80s Wrestling Con on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, 80s Wrestling Con. And the website is 80swrestlingcon.com. ISPW is same thing on all three social medias, ISPW Wrestling and ISPWWrestling.com.
Last question I'm going to ask you, Tommy. I'm your best friend in the world, but I'm asking it. I'm putting you on the spot here in front of everybody.
Let's do it.
As soon as WrestleMania is over, okay, the next day on Monday Night Raw, what are they planning? The road to next year's WrestleMania. I want to know, going into 80s Con 4, are you ready for 80s Con 5 next year?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. I can't wait.
And I got one man I'm targeting. So I'm gonna put it out there so the universe gets it and brings it back to me. You ready?
Yep.
Hulk Hogan.
Wow. Ooh, that'll be a big one.
That's who I'm after for 80s Wrestling Con 5. So put it out there, Hulkster. You follow me on Twitter, 80s Wrestling. I'm sure you're listening to this right now. You're good friends of Mike.
Terry's definitely
from those WCW days when you're on the road with Terry.
Yes, Terry, Randy, Kev, Scott.
He used to go get his root beer. He used to go get his root beers for him.
Awesome. Well, you know what? On Saturday, I'll be getting your root beer, buddy. I'll be doing whatever you need. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna go off perfectly.
Diet Stewart's, please.
80s Con 4, the Men in the Arena, Morristown, New Jersey. Go to 80swrestlingcon.com. Support a guy who gives back to his fans. Support an amazing event. You will not be disappointed. Thank you, Tommy.
Hey, man, listen, thank you, Mike, very, very much. I appreciate you having me on here, seriously, and I appreciate your friendship more than you'll ever know. I really, really, really have very few people I can truly count on in this world, and I can count them on one hand, and you're right at the top of that, man. So I appreciate you very much. I appreciate everything you do for me very much, and everyone out there listening that either has been to one of my events in the past, my store, a convention. Thank you very much. And if you guys come out this Saturday, I promise you that I will give you a show like you've never seen before.